when you convert like feet to inches or inches to feet or pounds to ounces, you will do this a ton when you are like cooking or building something. Like if you ever go to build a deck, or if you ever in your life are going to build your own house or something like that, this is going to happen a lot, especially capacity. You do this a lot when you cook. You've probably heard someone be like, oh, how many ounces are in a cup? The recipe tells me ounces. I need to know cups. So that's what we're going to look at today. This is, this is the conversion chart that you're going to need to know. You don't need to memorize it. I'll give it to you on the test. This is what you really need to understand. If you start with a bunch of little units and you want to get larger units, you would divide. If you start with large units, let's say you start with tons, and you're going to small units like pounds, then you're going to multiply. This is where that second strategy may be a bit confusing if that's like, whoa, you'd have to have this memorized. If you go from small to large, you're going to divide. If you go from large to small, you're going to multiply. Basically, the large is consisting of a bunch of small things. So, here we go. It says, suppose you need 8.5 feet of fabric to make a costume. But fabric is only sold in yards. Like if you go to Hobby Lobby, they're going to sell you yards. They're not going to sell you feet. How many yards of fabric should you buy? There are two strategies. So we are going feet to yards. So you need to go back up to the top. Everyone should be looking at your paper. You are taking feet to yards. So when you go feet, can you turn around, but it's kind of rude and you need to be taking notes. You are going to feet to yards. So you're going from big to little. Because you have a big number, you're going to little number. So you're going big to little. So you need to be careful here. So for every yard, there's 3 feet. Everybody with me? For every yard, there's 3 feet. So if you have 8.5 feet, I'm going to do it the way I would do it, and then I'll show you the other. You need to write down both ways. Pencils need to be up and pencils need to be moving. So you have 8.5 feet. And we know that 3 feet make 1 yard. Everybody with me? We're just writing that ratio. 3 feet, 1 yard. And we're trying to put this into yards. Exactly what you've been doing. Feet on top, feet on top. We don't know yards, we know yards. Everybody with me? Now you could cross multiply. 8.5 times 1 is 8.5 equals 3x. What do you do to both sides? What do you do to both sides? Divide by 3. So 8.5 divided by 3 is? You will have calculators, use them. 2.83. So you need to buy about how many yards of fabric? About how many yards of fabric? 3. You need to buy 2 and 8.3 yards of fabric. That's one way to do it. You do not have to do it that way. You could say, I'm going from feet to yards, so I'm going from small unit to big unit, and I need to divide. So I'm going to take 8.5 and divide by 3. You can do that, but you have to know what you're doing. You went from feet, which is a small unit, to yards, which is a large unit, and so you're going to divide. You would have to know that in your head, and that's okay. If you like to do it that way, that's fine. If you don't like to do the whole cross multiply thing, I'm totally fine with that. So let's do this one. Inches to feet. Are inches big or little? Little. Are feet big or little? Big. So you're going from small to large. So in this one, you would also divide. You do not have to. Everyone either decide if you're going to set up the ratio. If you're going to set up the ratio, start doing that, or the proportion, or show me what you divide. I don't care which way you do it, but you need to make a decision. If you label, it'll go so much better, I promise. So you cross multiply and you get 28 equals 16x. Divide by 16. Divide by 16. Sorry. X equals 1.75, hopefully. Everybody with me? Everybody with me? This one, hopefully you cross multiply, you got 1 gallon equals 10. And then you divide by 1, x equals 10. Be very careful there. Questions on either one of those? All right, go to the back. The back is not as simple. The back is not as simple. The back is going to require us to really use a little bit of brain power. Okay. At age 12, Robert was 6 feet 11 inches tall. At age 19, please listen. At age 19, he was 8 feet 7 inches tall. How much did he grow from age 12 to 19? So what are we going to have to do with the 8 feet 7 inches and the 6 feet 11 inches to figure that out? Charlie.
8 feet 7 inches minus 6 feet and 11.
Okay, please watch how I'm going to write this. I'm going to write it as a legit subtraction problem. So like this. And I'm labeling. Not labeling is not an option. You have to label on these. Pencil needs to get moving. Okay. This is where it becomes challenging because you can't just borrow like you do in normal subtraction. I can't just go borrow from the 8 and make this 7 a 17. That's not how it works. You have to use your conversions. So can I take 11 inches from 7 inches? No. So I'm going to have to go borrow from the feet. How many inches are in a foot, everybody? 12. So watch what I do. I'm going to rewrite it. I'm not just going to scratch stuff out. So I'm going to change the 8 to 7, which means I basically got 12 inches because 1 foot is 12 inches. And now I can add on the 12 inches to the 7, making 19 inches. Everybody with me? And now I can then, the bottom I don't have to change at all. Is there any questions how I went from the black to the red? Any questions? You just have to be careful when you borrow. I basically took out a foot and that gave me 12 inches to put with the 7. This is still 8 feet 7 inches. I just wrote it so now I can actually subtract. Caleb.